Stop planning it. Stop overthinking it. Hell, stop even talking about it. Just don't talk about it and just do it. It's time to lead by action. Your hands need to do most of the work. It's all fun and games to make all these dreams and create all these ideas, but these ideas can only be put into action if you actually get out of the paper and planning stage and go into put it into action. So just shut up and do it. In 2024, I remember for the first 6 months, I kept talking about what I want to do and how I want to do it and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But for the remaining last 6 months, I just kept quiet and did it. I didn't bother telling anyone about anything. I didn't really talk about much. I just did it. And actually, what I realized is that I was doing more action than speaking, and I saw results. So make sure that your actions are way more than your speech. Be overly self-aware. Be very, very self-aware, like stupidly self-aware. I think a lot of us lack that. And we need to not lack that. And I get it. It's uncomfortable to be overly self-aware. You know, you want to not really think if you're doing enough or things of that nature. But if you want to get things done, one thing I noticed that helped me get things done in the year of 2024 is I became so overly aware. Like, thanks to God, I just saw every action that I was doing. I really held myself accountable. I realized that the work that I thought I was doing, I wasn't actually doing it to the best of my ability. I realized that I was actually quite lazy and I was a procrastinator. So being that self-aware, I then got off the stage of, okay, I recognize it. And there's the important part because a lot of people do recognize their issues, but they don't know how to abolish it and get rid of it. That's where you have to now look at it and be like, okay, I'm being lazy right now. If I continue like this, I'm going to be frustrated in my life. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be moody. I'm going to be really, really annoyed at the fact that I didn't do much. So what do I do at that point? Being overly aware of the consequences for your actions currently makes you have more of a drive to keep doing the things that you're meant to be doing. So think of how you will feel if you keep on masturbating. Think of how you feel if you do have that anger outburst. Think of how you feel if you keep on being lazy. The results, can you deal with the results afterwards? Are the results going to make you happier? Are the results going to make you feel, comfortable? Are they going to make you feel uncomfortable? Are they going to make you feel frustrated with life? These are the things that you have to avoid. You got to relate the negative emotions that you feel from your inadequacy and keep moving forward and trying to make sure that you avoid those kind of feelings by doing what you're meant to be doing. You gotta be accepting that you have anger issues. You gotta be accepting that you're a bum. You gotta be accepting that you're lazy. I had to accept that I had a lot of issues this year. Despite me growing a lot and, improved a lot, I still have a lot of work to do. And I still do have a lot of work to do. And that's why I'm okay with that. I'm at peace because I'm always on work in progress. So understand that, yes, it doesn't have to be 20 different things you have to sort out, but you do have to make sure that you're being active in improving your life in every aspect, one step at a time. Being overly self-aware. Be very, very self-aware because if you're delusional, you get nothing done and you stay stagnant and it's stupidity. Fall in love with the process rather than the goals. Now, this is an important one because a lot of us tend to be focused on the goal rather than the process. And then what ends up happening is that because we have not touched that goal, we end up giving up a lot sooner than we were ever meant to give up, or because we weren't meant to give up at all. And that's because we haven't touched the goal. You got to understand this, people. When you want to achieve great things in life, it's going to take time. If you want a better body in the gym, it's going to take time. If you want a wife, it's going to take time. If you want a good, stable living, it's going to take time. These things, these big things, are sustainable and they have longevity. And because they have longevity, they must have a very firm foundation, which means some things will take long to come. The question is, are you willing to be patient with the process? See, I had to learn this the hard way because I was so focused on the goal to the point where I was thinking I wasn't doing anything with my life. And that's what you probably started thinking. You're not doing anything in your life because you haven't touched that goal. Now, in some cases, that's the case. But let's say the case that you are focused, doing what you have to do, and you're not seeing anything else, right? This would now cause you to give up. Rightfully so, because you're in that mindset where it's like you're not seeing anything. You will reap the positivity that you sow so long as you stick with the process. That's why I say there's a goal, but forget the goal. You know the goal, X, Y, Z. So long as you are in the process and you're loving and enjoying that process, fall in love with the process so that you don't give up. When you fall in love with the process, you fall in love with the fact that things aren't going to work out. You fall in love with the fact that you're gonna get no's, a lot of unfortunately's, a lot of go-aways, a lot of it's not working out this time. You're gonna fall in love with that process. Same way you're gonna fall in love with the successes and the mini successes and the things that help you get to the bigger goal. As you fall in love with those things intertwined together as one, knowing that this is part of the process to reach the end goal, you now enjoy what you're doing. A lot of you don't enjoy what you're doing, and rightfully so, because your priorities with your goal is all the way messed up. You can't want the goal but hate the process. You've got to love the process and go for the goal. So you got to enjoy feeling pain in the gym. You got to enjoy getting those rejection emails from employers. You've got to enjoy all of that, because that's the story being made. And I had to learn that, when I was applying for jobs, I was getting a lot of unfortunately's. And in this first 6 months of the year, I was having mental breakdowns and getting angry and all kinds of stuff like that. But the last 6 months, God is good, because I started to enjoy that process, because I knew my time is coming and I'm one step closer to my yes. And as God had it, I made it and I got the job, and everything God comes with it. So this is why I tell you, people, fall in love with that process. Be okay with it and have fun with it, because it's going to be some rides are going to be long, some rides are going to be short. The question is, are you going to determine how long you stick by it because of the length, or are you going to stick by it because you know that's the process? You can't be looking at, how long this, that, X, Y, Z. I wanted to get my job in 1 month. It took me way longer than 1 month, but I still stuck by it. Some days the process is going to be tiring. It's going to be like that, but you got to enjoy the fact that you got to motivate yourself to get back up. Make sure your goals aren't selfish. I think one big thing that really messed me up this year is that my goals started off being very selfless. I wanted to help out my family and things of that nature, and things were going great. But down the line, because I was so frustrated and so desperate to become successful in my life, my goals then became more selfish. Rather than me wanting to help people with the resources that I get, it came about how I would feel. I will finally feel good enough. I'll finally feel accepted. I'll finally feel strong enough and capable enough. What will other people think about me when I have this and this amount of resources, X, Y, and Z? And God can't bless a dream like that. He just can't. At the end of the day, there's a reason why a lot of these people nowadays have such big finances, but they have no happiness. It's because that they relates their happiness with their resources. We gotta understand that money, resources, all that kind of stuff, it just makes getting by in life easier, but it does not satisfy your soul. It really does not satisfy your soul. So you gotta understand and reevaluate why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you don't know why you do what you're doing, and if it's not for selfless reason, God can't bless those goals. And even if you do succeed in those goals, you're going to feel miserable after you succeeded them. So that's why I went back to the drawing board and I prayed about it. And I started to realize, actually, I want my goals to help. I want to achieve this stuff I want to achieve, tell my family with this and that and X, Y, and Z. I want to give a better future to my children. I want to give a better future to my future wife and things of that nature. All of these things God can bless, because it's not coming from a prideful, arrogant, and sinful way. It's not coming from a way that has me thinking that these things that I will achieve and obtain makes me the person who I am. No, that's just the resources. It's just there to me get by in life. But what God wants from me is more positivity. So that's what you have to ask yourself. Are your goals selfish or are they selfless? Because right now, some of you are on a endless stupidity run for the goal. You don't know why you're running for the goal, or maybe you do, and it's for the wrong reasons. And it's okay, because like I said, I went through that. But you gotta understand that the reason I want these things is stupid. Now, God bless you if they're not stupid, but if they are stupid, you gotta be okay with that. Deconstruct that. Doesn't matter how long you've been running for it. This is the video where you can stop it today. You can stop running after that stupid goal today. Sit down and relax and reevaluate. Go back to why you want to do this, why you want to achieve these goals, and make sure it's in a selfless way that God can bless. Judge yourself more than others. You have got to be brutal with yourself, right? A lot of us tend to side-eye people and look at people in a certain type of way, but really that just distracts us from what we're meant to be doing. When you see some people doing some silly things on the internet or in person, and it just consumes your time and attention, that should be you. When people are like, oh, how can someone do something like that? You actually need to be saying to yourself, how can you do something like that? How can you fall victim to masturbation again? How could you be lazy again? How could you do nothing all day again? Now, I know it sounds harsh, but this isn't a way to beat you up. This is a way to get you up on your feet and realize, okay, I've outgrown this stuff that I'm doing. I've got to do better. You feel me? You got to look at your negativity, the negativity that you do, like that person on the street that you would accidentally judge. Why would they do that? Man, I wish they would stop doing it like the X, Y, and Z. You feel me? You got to look at it like that. So judge yourself more than others. That's an important one. But make sure it's positive judging. Don't beat yourself up. Just make sure that, again, it ties with it's being self-aware. Make sure that you're harsh on yourself than you are with anyone else, because it's your life and your life needs that. And last but certainly not least, make sure that you're developing your relationship with God. I can't tell you that I did all the things I did this year, all the successes that I achieved this year by myself. It was all because of God, because everything that I wrote down on this list, God instilled inside of me. He made sure that I was in there, and it was uncomfortable. There was growing pains. I did not like seeing how bad I was. I did not like all of this, but it worked out in the end. You feel me? And that's the thing. When you have God in your life, when you feel lazy, when you feel down, he'll kick you back up on your feet, and he'll support you and he'll love you. You feel what I'm saying? Everyone needs a relationship with Jesus Christ to help them feel like they can do anything. Why can they feel like they do anything? Because everything is possible through Christ who strengthens them. Like I said, once you have all these things on the list, it's important that, yes, all things are there, but the foundation must be Jesus Christ. When you have Christ in you, you have a positive outlook that, yes, things are down, but you will get back up on your feet. You won't need a video or anything like that. Instead, you'll have the book of the word, which is the living truth. So that means anything that's in the Bible is the truth. So when you have the truth telling you that you're going to do fine, God is with you, don't panic, don't be afraid, this is that nature, how could you lose? You can never lose, because God is by your side. You know it, and his word says it, because it's the living truth. So make sure you're developing your relationship with God. I'm not saying you have to be this big prayer warrior, but make sure that it's growing along with you. Make sure that relationship with God is becoming more and more developed and mature, because that's how you will get by in life. With that being said, my people, let's stand tall and march to God's word together as one. God bless, take care, and I'll see you guys next video.